will not die.
You might need to back it up, I don't.
There we go. Wingsuit, baby. Oh no, don't run into a tree. Listen, no.
Look at this. It flies out into the sunset.
Wait, God damn it. That was our.
Oh, that's what that does.
You are the worst. What happened? You just let your dad die like that? And your uncle, he's just getting his salad tossed by the con as we speak. You know what? Fuck out of here, Jen. You ain't shit. I've thought about how I wanted to start this. In the 12th century, Dante Alighieri wrote a book or a play. Was it a play or a book? Called Dante's Inferno. Now, in this book, it was very one-sided. He actually put a lot of people in there that he didn't like. Like, so imagine me writing a book and then putting, like, people that I had problems with in hell getting fucked by demons.
A few moments later.
That's not important right now. What's important is that one of the aspects of this different hell was the 9 different layers. That's where that actually comes from, if you've heard of that. And
More moments later.
so basically, there's a special place in hell for people who hurt and destroy members of their family that they love. So there is a special place in hell, if Dante is correct, for Christopher Watts. I don't know if it's Christopher. But anyway.
Like, I have no inclination to where they're at right now. It's like a nightmare that I just can't wake up from. Like, I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad.
Police in Colorado have issued an alert for a pregnant mother and her 2 young daughters.
Had nothing to do with the act of like evil cruelty.
So you obviously are a really bad liar.
He is the sloppiest killer I've ever seen.
It looks like he's trying to cover his tracks.
Every time I closed my eyes, I started to see her saying, "Daddy, no," and that was it.
To me, it's the ultimate betrayal.
This was the case that people wanted a punishment for.
You're not going to be safe in your own house with your own husband. Where are you safe?
God have mercy on his soul for betraying with those kids and his wife. I think death is even not good enough for him.
This is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life. He loved me. Nothing made sense.
The Christopher Watts family murders.
The initial news coverage said that there was a missing wife and 2 children.
It stirred such a reaction in the community. There was
My friend sent me a friend suggestion for him. It was actually his cousin's wife, and I deleted it. I was like, I am not interested. I don't want to meet a guy. Bye-bye. So I deleted her friend's suggestion for him. 2 months later, I went through one of the, I would say, darkest times of my life. I was diagnosed with some health challenges, and then I met Chris. I met Chris because of those health challenges. I thought my life was crumbling underneath me and I didn't know which way to turn. I didn't have a lot of friends at the time because a lot of my friends, the friends I did have, I lost because they didn't understand that I looked perfectly fine and I felt horribly inside, horribly. I was like, oh, what the heck, I'm never gonna meet him. Except one thing led to another, and 8 years later, we have 2 kids, we live in Colorado, and he's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Wow, that's beautiful. That is gorgeous. You see that? You see that? Strong family. On the outside, seemingly, right? Like if you look at a Facebook photo or Instagram, because I don't use Facebook. But if you look at an Instagram or whatever kind of social media, you're not seeing the real picture 99% of the time. You're seeing what they want you to see.
I've known the family for 25 years. You know, I mean, when I first met him, he was really shy. He just kind of kept himself. Was probably even a little girl scared. Now it's just like...
Man, the most fucked up part of this, I mean, even more so than the fact that he murdered his fucking daughters, is the fact that, like, how are you supposed to see this coming, you know? Like, this isn't a random dude that she met. This is her husband. She known him for 8 years or so before they got married. You know? They had kids, then they moved somewhere. It's not like, you can't even look at it as a situation where she's meeting this guy who's a predator and then he's deciding to take her, and then I don't even think that was his plan from the beginning. Like, I don't think it could have been. Like, it had to be in the moment horrible, fucked up decision that only a coward and a fucking evil human being can make, but still, it had to be something that wasn't necessarily planned. Well, there was another woman. There always is. Just like Scott Peterson had fucking Amber.
My name is Chris Watts. I'm doing my speech on relationship deterioration and repair.
Nicole Kessinger.
Nicole Kessinger is one of Chris Watts' co-workers in Weld County.
So pink means...
That's just the test.
I know. They just said the pink is going to be girls.
I don't know.
Man, I really hate to say this. I really do. But with the glasses, he looks like one Shredderick of face. No, not my friend. Not my best friend. Looking like a serial killer. Well, family destroyer. Well, family exterminator is what they're called.
To Chris Watts, Nicole Kessinger was a breath of fresh air. She was not Shanann. She wasn't the wife. She wasn't the mother. She had nothing tying her down. She was different.
He was sort of in these routines with Shanann and the girls that had become, you know, monotonous. Nikki Kessinger was listening to him and respecting him in a way that he had never felt before. I think at that point, it was an easy decision for him to start an affair.
This is taking Nicole out on dates. This is his opportunity to fully date without any eyes watching him.
Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts had a dating life that was probably something like, 20-somethings would do.
You're so damn sexy.
Yeah, intoxication of affair is a very, very powerful drug. Sex is a powerful drug.
Of course.
Chris is taking illicit photos of Nicole and saving them to his phone in a secret app.
He was able to do all these things that he wasn't able to do because he had children and he had a family.
Well, we don't need to like snitch on the secret app thing. Not people. Look, okay, just because you use a secret app doesn't mean that you're murdering your fucking family. Shut up.
And he's willing to do whatever it takes to continue to explore this relationship.
He changed his mind about the baby as all of a sudden he sort of had this new interest. His mind was with another woman.
Man, he's just over there thinking about pink ass cheeks. He's not even thinking about his woman. God damn it, dude.
It's early in the morning when her friend Nicole Atkinson drops her off at her home. Nicole Atkinson was under the impression that she was taking Shanann home to a place that should be a place of comfort, a place of security.
Nicole.
There's no way she could have known
The
that she's
OG
actually
nosy
dropping her
bitch
off
Nicole.
to her final moments on
In
Earth.
any other situation, she would be the most annoying bitch on the face of the earth. But in this situation, she caught a murderer. One of the main things people look at when you're committing a murder isn't just, motive, right? It's what do you do after you commit the murder. What you do after the murder tells a lot about motive and your headspace in the murder during the time of the murder. I don't know.
My name's Nicole, and I'm calling because I'm concerned about a friend of mine. I dropped her off at her house at 2 in the morning last night, and I haven't been able to get a hold of her this morning. She's not answering the door. She's not responding to text messages, phone calls. I've had other friends reach out to her. None of us can get her to respond to us.
Alrighty, we do have a call in. Nicole, we'll have an officer come out that way as soon as we can.
How you been?
Hi.
Here, Nicole?
Yes.
Okay. So what's going on?
So my friend, we were out of town for a business trip this weekend.
Right.
And I dropped her off at 2 o'clock this morning. She's 15 weeks pregnant. She wasn't feeling well, and she had a doctor's appointment this morning at 9, and I told her to let me know if she needed me to take her. She's got 2 little girls. Her husband and her supposedly are separating, but she didn't know this. She thought they were just having issues. I called him, and I was like, have you talked or heard from Shanann since she left for work this morning? Because I can't get a hold of her. I've called, I've texted. Her car's in the garage. Her shoes she wears every single day are right in the front door.
She only has one vehicle?
No, they only have the one vehicle in his work truck.
Okay. Scott, how you doing?
How's it going?
So this is the only vehicle she would have?
Only one that,
She would drive? Okay.
What's interesting is the garage door opens, and instead of yelling out for Shanann, he stops and opens up their car and starts looking through the car. They go upstairs, there's no sign of the girls there. They go in the basement, there's no sign of Shanann or the girls.
Her phone's here? Yeah. Her phone's here.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works This Is Her Lifeline.
Okay. Before the expert talks, let the stoner say something. Do you see how fucking, like, panicked her friend is compared to Chris?
Work?
Yeah, she works.
She's rubbing her head. She's scared. Because she legitimately doesn't know what's going on. Chris is kind of like, just trying to get them out.
Oh, from home?
She works This Is Her Lifeline.
At one point, the police officer is asking questions about where they might have been, and Chris conveniently walks straight into the bedroom and comes straight out, and on his finger is Shanann's wedding ring.
And he's pointing it out almost like he's pointing a gun. You know, here it is. I found the ring. This is the missing evidence.
I still to this day believe that was her wedding ring that he took out of the car.
It shows Chris very clearly walking out of the house by himself, backing his truck up into the driveway, and then loading something into the back of his truck.
Right up here.
It shows Chris very clearly walking out of the house by himself, backing his truck up into the driveway, and then loading something into the back of his truck.
Out there on the side, I just want to get everything done. Be easier, so lugging everything out there, all the tools that I had to bring in.
Suddenly, this guy who had few words has a lot to say. He has an explanation for everything.
Then Chris started to fall apart a bit.
Chris Watts can barely watch it, right? So what happens when you arrest somebody? Get down on the ground, put your hands on your head. So he puts his hands on his head even though he wasn't told. But that was a surrendering moment.
That's almost as if Chris was verbally saying, oh my gosh, I was not expecting this.
The boy who cried wolf.
This young lady and her kids are missing.
A missing persons report is issued to
I'm guessing this is when Chris Watts comes on and does his, like, very cringy I miss my wife so much campaign. Like, all these assholes, Scott Peterson, Chris Watts, they always have these campaigns of, like, I don't know where my kids are, or I don't know where my wife is, please. I want them back so bad. Oh. But in actuality, nobody believes them. Every time they see them on the news, they're like, oh, that's the dude that killed his family? When are they going to get him for that? Do they have the evidence yet? Because they're just waiting. Everybody knew that he was guilty. It was sort of like, I don't know.
I have no inclination to where they're at right now. Like, I've exhausted like every friend that I know of, and every friend that I have has called friends that Shanann has that maybe I didn't know about. I have no idea like where they went. And it's just earth shattering. I don't feel like this is even real right now. It's like
Does this sound like a man who is just like broken about losing his fucking his wife and kids?
Nightmare that I just can't wake up from. I want her back so bad. I want those kids back so bad.
He was saying all the right things, but there was something in your gut that you knew that he did it.
He smirks after he makes a comment.
I want those kids back so bad.
And that's what we call duping delight. He thinks he's such a great performer, and pulling this whole story off.
Bella was going to start kindergarten next Monday.
He says Bella was to start kindergarten soon. He's viewing her as dead because he already knew she was not going to be coming home.
I'm going to sit next to you so we're looking at it together.
The police officer set this up as a very informal interview at the Frederick Police Department. Chris is brought in, sat down, given something to drink, but at the same time, up in the corner of the room, a camera is recording.
About your marriage and infidelity. I have never cheated on my wife. She's always been untrustworthy.
He's been lying this entire interview. I don't know if you can tell. But basically, Shanann was texting. One of the main issues that she had was his lack of communicativity. That's not a word. But he wasn't being communicative. That is a word. And what he was doing was just walling himself off, being quiet, and texting his girlfriend. So maybe if Chris did come to his wife and say, hey, the love isn't there anymore, I think we should, end this, maybe she still would be here. But he did not. Instead, he decided to take the easy way out, which was murdering his wife. I'm not sure how that's the easy way, but it is the way he took.
The Frederick Police Department asked Chris Watts to come down to discuss a few matters with them about his wife and children and their disappearance.
Chris returns on the 15th, without hesitation, agrees to take a lie detector test.
You did great. You remembered to lie and everything. That was awesome. So you obviously are a really bad liar. Have people told you that before? Like the second you tell a lie, like they can tell like on your face that because the second you lie to them.
So this is like a technique that she's using to basically knock him off balance. She wants him to feel unconfident. Is that the word? Disconfident? What? Why can't I speak right now? Let's use the word incompetent. She wants him to feel incompetent. She wants him to feel I can't think of the word. It's the opposite of confident. I think it's disconfident. Unconfident. I think it's unconfident. She wants her to feel unconfident in himself. Yeah, that's the word. Why am I forgetting unconfident? It's been a long week if I forgot the fucking word unconfident.
Because you're starting to go off the page. So that is awesome. So thank you for being a horrible liar. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We don't want to be good liars. So thank you for being a horrible liar. And that just shows me that, obviously on the test when they're asking, significant stuff about your wife, if you're lying, that is going to be even 10 times more amplified. There's only one person in this room that knows what the truth is. And in about 5 minutes, there's going to be 2 of us. So that's the coolest part, okay?
She tells him, there's no way you're going to walk out of here without telling the complete truth.
The test is about to begin. Please remain still. Regarding Shanann's disappearance, do you intend to answer all of the questions truthfully?
Of course the results are in.
So it is completely clear that you were not honest during the testing, and I think you already know that. You did not pass the polygraph test. Okay. So now we need to talk about what actually happened. And I feel like you're probably ready to do that.
I didn't lie to you on that polygraph, I promise.
Now, the issue right now is what happened to Shanann, Bella, and Celeste.
That's when the investigators start to play a little good cop, bad cop.
And see, it's like, I don't even have issues with good cops. I really don't. It's just that they use these techniques on innocent people. You know what I mean? These techniques are so good that they will not only trip up guilty people, they will trip up innocent people. There's a reason why polygraph tests aren't admissible in court. Because, like, just taking a polygraph test makes you fucking, like, alters the fucking perspective of, like, alters the test, right? It, like, you know, taking the test itself, like, alters the test. Like, observing an animal changes its behavior. It knows it's being observed. I don't know.
You are. I know.
Chris admits to having an affair with Nicole Kessinger, cheating on Shanann, and the police officers respond with,
So, going into that interview today with Tammy, where we strapped you in, we knew all about Nikki.
he didn't know that Nicole Kessinger, his mistress, had already came in and spilled the beans about their relationship.
And then yesterday rolled around and she's still not around, and that started to seem really concerning for me. At that point, I was like, you know what? I hope something did not happen to her and did not happen to her children. And that was when I decided that it's probably a good idea to just come talk to you guys.
So then Chris is sitting there and realizes,
even the side chick knew, like, you murdered your wife for me, didn't you? Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my. And then, you know, it was probably a very horrific or horrifying realization to come upon.
these people know a little more than I realize.
I promise you, when you start talking to us, you will feel better. You gotta help me.
Chris, we're giving you a lifeline right now. You need to take it. You need to reach out and take it.
Do you want to bring him in here? Flew across the country. If we brought your dad in here, would you please tell him what happened? Polygraph. Failed it. So, I mean, they're not going to let me go. She heard him? Yeah. And then well, no, I doubt not her. You're a girl. The one? She smelled it. Or choking. She freaked out over the separation of everything. I heard like a little commotion upstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. Mm-hmm. And then we went back upstairs and she was there. I could see like she was about to choking her or did she kill her? They're blue. Both of them. Yeah. She choked both of them to death. I freaked out in the champagne. So she killed both CC and Bell. Choked them to death. Lost it and choke her or that's crazy. I hadn't.
The disbelief on Ronnie's face says it all. Here he's having to listen to his son admit to murdering his daughter-in-law. But at the same time, he's having to console him because he believes that his son is also the victim here, because he believes Chris, his daughters, were killed by Shanann.
They were not.
They were already out on the scene because they knew the GPS took them there. a team of investigators moved in with the tough task of having to retrieve the bodies. Shanann's body was relatively simple to retrieve because it was only under some dirt. Getting Bella and Celeste out of those tanks was much more of a challenge than anyone expected. They knew that they were in the tanks, and the only way to get them out from an opening is to drain the tanks of the oil and then pull the children out from the base. There's a lot of investigators whose lives were forever changed by this incident.
How do you look at those babies and put them into an oil tank? It does not seem like something a human being could do.
That's fucking rough.
After Chris is arrested and booked into the Weld County Jail, the case progresses very.
So after we look at their bodies, we're gonna have a lot more questions. You know, you certainly did what you did, but I think you took a lot of steps to make it better today. Sorry I left you last night, and sorry I left you today.
Taken to jail. The toilet in the turd in the toilet.
This afternoon, my office filed formal charges against Christopher Lee Watts. 3 counts of murder in the first degree after deliberation. 1 count naming Shanann Watts. 1 count naming Bella. 1 count naming Celeste.
About 2 months after the disappearances, Chris makes a trade with the district attorney that he will admit guilt to all 3 murders so long as they do not pursue the death penalty with him. This case brought in so much attention that when it came to his sentencing, there was a line out the courtroom door of people wanting to see him sentenced.
Shanann, Bella, and Nico love and caring people. They love life. They love being around people who love them. I trusted you to take care of them, not kill them. You buried my daughter Shanann and Nico in a shallow grave, and then you put Bella and Celeste in huge containers of crude oil. You heartless monster. This is hard to say, but may God have mercy on your soul. I hope you enjoy your new life. It's nothing like the one you had out here.
We loved you like a son. We trusted you. Your faithful wife trusted you. Your children adored you, and they also trusted you. Your daughter Bella Marie sang a song proudly. I don't know if you got to see it, but it was Daddy, You're My Hero. I have no idea who gave you the right to take their lives.
The entire time, Chris just hung his head and looked straight down.
These kids who looked up to you and expected you to be their daddy, like, that's the ultimate betrayal of trust.
You know, the Watts family spoke, and of course they're devastated as much as the Ruseks are.
It was their intention to introduce themselves as grandparents who had suffered an extraordinary loss, and that they were in as much a shock as anyone, and maybe more so.
Our families have been irreparably broken by the needless deaths of Shanann, Bella, Cece, and Nico. This is something we will never get over. We will always mourn the loss of our family, and in that, we are united in our grief. Now to my son, Christopher. I have known you since the day you were born into this world. I have watched you grow from a quiet and sweet, curious child
into a
Bella
murderer
reminded me so much of, to a young man who worked hard in sports and later mechanics to achieve your goals. You are a good friend, brother, father, and son. We have loved you from the beginning, and we still love you now. Your father and sister and I are struggling to understand why, but we will remain faithful as your family. We love you. And we forgive you, son.
The room was not what I had experienced in a courtroom before. It was one of just sadness.
Two families who have been absolutely destroyed by the actions of this man.
Yeah.
Everyone was grieving in that room.
Damn,
Good morning, Your Honor.
bro.
Mr. Watts has asked us to share this morning that he is devastated by all of this. And although he understands that words are hollow at this point, he is sincerely sorry for all of this. Thank you.
Bullshit.
I've been a judicial officer now for starting my 17th year, and I could objectively say that this
we said the same thing,
perhaps
BFF.
the most. Deputies, I would respectfully ask that you take this defendant into custody and have him serve the rest of his life in the Department of Corrections.
I don't have grace for him. That's one of the worst betrayals a human can do, is the betrayal of a father to a daughter. So no, I don't selfishly think that he got justice, but I'm grateful that I'm not the judge.
He got triple life sentences.
After Chris went to prison, we thought we would never hear from him again, but it was actually only just beginning.
Now let us continue our journey of horror and dismay as we wrap up and finish the final flush on the turd that is Chris Watts. Also, I said he kind of looks like you, Shred. But that's neither here nor there. And only when he has the glasses.
We never hear from
right
him
there.
again,
Bam.
but it was actually only just beginning.
Well, Shred, you look definitely more, you look better than him for sure. Maybe he's just a skinny white guy with glasses. I don't know. I think it might. Now that I'm called out, you may not look at all like him. Chris, we've been talking about dead kids and oil drums the entire time, and now you put on a a disclaimer. Well, Nero knows best.
Watts reveals the gruesome details.
I think all white guys look alike.
The convicted killer speaks with investigators from.
You and Crumb are twins, right? Maybe something to that.
Inside his Wisconsin prison cell.
After being sentenced, Chris was taken to prison to Waupun, Wisconsin, where he's now at the Dodge Correctional Facility.
I woke her up, and it's like, hey, we just gotta talk. Yeah. Just like I told her, I don't feel compatible. I don't feel like this is gonna work.
Chris wants to tell her he wants a divorce and he's having an affair. That's the first time that he ever admits to Shanann that there is another woman in the picture, is moments after she got home.
She's like, I knew there was somebody else. And she's like, never gonna see the kids again. Never gonna see them again. Get off. Don't hurt them again.
That's when Chris gets on top of his pregnant wife and starts to strangle her.
Strangulation is a very personal form of murdering somebody.
Chris says Shanann didn't say anything. He claims she didn't fight back.
Why do you think she wasn't fighting?
I don't know. Maybe she was praying. For the scripture says, don't forgive these people for they do not know what they do. Maybe she was saying that. I don't know what she was saying in her head. Did I know I was going to do that before I got on top of her? It's kind of like I just saw my life just disappearing before my eyes, but I couldn't let go. It was like somebody else, like if you picture somebody else around you, holding your hands, holding you, keep you from not letting go. When she was gone, it was just like I didn't know what was going on. I was shaking. I didn't know what had happened.
Shortly after he killed Shanann, he was pulling her off the bed with a bed sheet. And that's when his oldest daughter, Bella, walked in the room and saw what was going on.
What she said.
He wrapped up Shanann's body.
Shit.
He took her downstairs to the garage.
Tempted to pick her up and take her down, but I lost grip after a little while. So I didn't pull.
Did Bella see you do that? What was Bella saying?
She started crying a little bit. She said, "What's wrong, Mom?"
And what did you say that time?
She doesn't feel good. She's a smart girl. She didn't know what was going on there.
Bella watched him as he dragged his wife's body.
I know why
down the
they said
staircase
viewer
to
discretion
his truck.
advised now.
He loads Shanann's body into the back of his truck, and then his 2 daughters alive. And
Honestly, like I try to picture that whole ride, like it's like 45 minutes to an hour ride out there. And it's just like, couldn't I have like saved my girl's life? Couldn't I have done something? Why did I do it? I don't know.
Right.
Like this is my flesh and blood. This is like what I wanted all my life, was to be a dad, just to have, you know, kids, and they love me, they, you know, all that, and it just nothing made sense.
he admits to taking them out to Derby 319.
He proceeded to dig a shallow grave for Shanann and cover her back up.
He then returns to his vehicle with his 2 daughters, and then he grabs Cece's favorite blanket and smothers her.
So is that the same thing that happened to me, Cece?
Bella was fully aware of what just happened.
Wow.
I don't know if I just said yes, like a horrible person, or if I just put that blanket over her too and did the same thing. It's like every time I close my eyes, I start to see her saying, "Daddy."
Oh man, yeah, fuck this dude.
Every day.
She fought for her life.
Then he took the children one at a time and he put them into the oil tanks.
Those are my kids.
Remember the lust punishment from fucking 7?
You from homicide? You better see this. Yeah, all right.
Oh God, get this thing off of me! Get this thing off of me!
Who tied it down? You or him?
Made it happen. He made me do it. He put that thing on me. And then he made me wear it. Then he told me to fuck her. And I did. I fucked her. Oh God, oh God, oh God, he had a gun in my mouth. The fucking gun was in my throat.
Yeah. This guy needs the lust punishment from fucking 7.
It's going to be incredibly difficult for the Ruzek family and the Watts family to fully heal from this or move on from it.
Ronnie and Cindy Watts, they were not ready for the impact that it was going to have upon them. This feels like it just happened every day.
And I do think that we're all 5 seconds away from choices that are going to lead us down a path to make us or break us.
Chris Watts was your all-American dad with everything any man would ever want. Now he's sitting in a cell, convicted of the murders of everything he once loved.
Shanann was buried as Shanann Rusak. They're all together finally in North Carolina.
There's a lot of trauma that went through this case. There's a lot of tears that were shed.
This case is a good example of how the process is designed to heal, but in order for that opportunity to exist, you have to respect the process.
As far as Shanann's family, I just hope they're able to focus on the time that they did have. Shanann was such an empathetic person. I think we could change the world with people like Shanann if we were willing to learn from her legacy.
The small town of Frederick, Colorado wants to remember Shanann, Bella, and Cece, and baby Nico, while also trying to make sure that this town can heal from the wounds.
Rest in peace. Like I said before, there is a special place in hell for people who hurt other people, but even more so for people who hurt people who have love and have trust in them. It's a different kind of level of shit person. So yeah, that is Chris Watts. That toilet has been flushed. God damn it. Said it wrong again. That turd has been flushed. Ah.